Lots of reasons why. One, this is the first time these people have been on a podcast. First time we've had 2 guests on the podcast. And basically strangers. I'm excited to get through it. First and foremost, please welcome Nic and Lukas. I'm like iCarly with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can hit, you know.
That scared me. I was not
he was like, where is this coming from? Okay, so Nic and Lukas, welcome to the podcast. How you guys feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, feeling good.
Wow, feeling good. Yeah,
Groovy,
vibes.
yeah.
Vibes. Okay, so really, you know, basically how I met these guys is I went to, shout out to my girl Whitley, the vintage pop-up here in town, and bought some merchandise. As you see, I'm wearing this super sick jacket. I've worn this 3 different times and I've gotten huge compliments. I actually auditioned for Kansas City Fashion Week, and I walked in and the guy was like, yo, where is that jacket from? And I was like,
No way.
feature it. I'm just kidding.
That's so cool.
Vibes. But so we basically met at the vintage pop-up, and I bought your guys' stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are so cool. We have to get you on the podcast. So that's our origin story. So I feel like we need to go ahead and break it down. Obviously, it can kind of direct it like, yo, this one's at Lukas or at Nic or whatever. You guys want to like, hey, I'll take this. You know, we're really good at communication here on Keeping Up with Cash. So, okay, well, let's just get started into it. You know, how did you guys meet, and how did the Luv Brand get started?
Yeah, so we actually met. We both worked at a grocery store.
Name drop. It's okay to name drop which one.
We worked at Harder House.
Yeah,
Okay.
Probably 3 years ago is when we met.
Yeah,
originally?
it was 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were a bagger. I was a cashier. And yeah, the love just grew from there.
Wow.
No, yeah, I think how we started hanging
Sparks
out.
were flying by the meat section.
Yeah, right. No, so like Lukas, he skated, and I don't remember how it started, but somehow we started skating together.
I remember like Trenton and Cole were like, yo, we're gonna go skate after work. There's this really cool dude, Nic, you'd love him, like come with us. And I went to Founders, and I think that was the first time I ever met you before I like started coming over to your house and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it was.
So you're saying you both worked at a grocery store, but you both didn't meet each other until this like skate moment.
Yeah, until like the
That's
skate
wild.
sesh. Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then we started skating together, and then last year I asked him to move in with me, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vibes. Okay. So then, how did the brand get started?
So how I remember it is I was just like in class, just kind of like dozing off one day, and Nic kind of just texted me. He's like, yo, I just found this sewing machine. Do you want to start like a clothing brand? And I was like, okay, yeah. And
Boy world is so different than girl. Girl world's like, hey, I've been pinning this for 6 months on Pinterest. I've seen 7 YouTube videos. Should we like get coffee and just talk about the idea? And guys are like, 5 p.m. tonight, we're starting a business. Like,
Let's do it.
pretty much. And then I went home, and then Nic just had the sewing machine on the counter, and like I remember that first night we probably like tried to get it set up. We couldn't sew anything to begin with. Like we couldn't figure out how to do the bobbin. Like
Oh man, it was
how to thread
such
it.
a hassle. So I got the sewing machine from my grandma originally, and it was
Shout out.
old. Yeah, shout out grandma. It was probably from like the 70s, like super old machine she got from a garage sale. So there was like no videos online.
wow.
But it still had the manual, luckily. So we just like hunkered down over the kitchen table and
So you're
like,
out here like going to like this instruction manual.
yeah. And it
Wow.
took forever. Like it was probably one of the most frustrating things I ever did.
Okay,
learning
okay,
to
so
use
let's
the
just-
machine.
Guessing. Like
We need to back
Yeah.
up. Okay, so like how old are you guys?
I'm 22.
I'm 20.
Dang. Okay, so
Yeah.
like the fact that like especially with like AI, Gen Z, social media, like the fact that you guys are like 22 and 20 and like going through this book on how to learn a sewing machine. You know what I'm saying? It's like so sad, but it's like, wow. Go you guys. That's awesome. So how long did it take you to learn how to sew?
Honestly, like it was all Lukas going through that thing because I was so frustrated, like looking at the book. I was like, why isn't this working? Why can't I find a video online? And Lukas was like, okay, let's flip through this, figure it out. And he did. Yeah. So he was like definitely the calm energy that we needed to actually, you know, figure out how to work it. So.
Okay, so like do you guys both sew or how does that work?
Yeah, we both do things. It's kind of just like whenever we have an idea, we just just make it.
Yeah. So there's like so many questions I have about everything, obviously, but like first and foremost, the name is Luv, like Luv. So where did that come from?
Yeah, we kind of threw around a few ideas at first whenever I sent that initial text, like, yo, I really want to start like a clothing brand. And honestly, like one thing that I was trying to keep in mind was, okay, we're going to be making all these pieces from scratch. So try and do something with like, as, you know, I don't know, minimal letters as possible, basically, right. So that you can put all that like on anything and save time. So that was like part of it, just to, you know, save time, make it easier when we're actually making the clothes. But also, I mean, I think just you can make like a lot of meaning out of love, you know, like the love for clothes, the love for fashion, the love for wearing stuff that makes you feel like comfortable and confident. And every, like with our brand, everything is one of one. Easy, but our like, you know, little quotes, everything's one of one.
No, I love it, because I'm like, not to interrupt, but it's like, I always joke around, like, my name is Morgan, and every day, like, 5 more Morgans are created, you know? And so I'm like, this is like the most common name ever. And so everything I like buy or like nickname, I want it to be so unique. And so the fact that it's like one of one is something that I'm so like, yes, I'm like, attracted to that, like, because like no one else can have it, you know?
Right, 100%. So, yeah. That's
awesome. So I guess to just dive a little bit more, just a question for you, Nic. It really is like, so when you texted Lukas about starting the brand, is that something you've always been passionate about? Like, what was your origin story on that?
With clothes and everything?
Yeah, like just you just wanted, you know, saw like a YouTube video and you're like, I want to do this? Or have you kind of been like always interested in something like that?
Definitely always interested. I don't know. I think it goes way back. Like, I'm super thankful my mom like didn't pick my outfits for me growing up. She let me, you know, kind of explore. Yeah. So I feel like I got to get all of my, you know, terrible phases out of the way early on. I mean, I'm still going through phases, but like the snapbacks turned to the side and like the crazy high top DCs and skinny jeans, you know, like all these phases that I went through. I went through like a dress up phase in high school, and just always had like a love for, I don't know, it like clothes made me feel good, feel confident, whatever I was wearing. So and then I started kind of customizing clothes, just like really small things, probably like freshman year in college, but I didn't know how to sew, so I just used like fabric glue for things like that. And then one day I was like, all right, I want to actually do something with this, like, I don't know, make clothes. I feel like I have some cool ideas, and I know Lukas he's artistic, he has cool ideas, so I was like, let's do this together.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's dive into it. So I guess, like Lukas, if you have the answer for this, or if you both do, you know, when it comes to designing pieces, getting inspiration, like drawing something out, how does that process look like for you guys?
For me at least, I don't know how it is for Nic, but I'm always on social media a lot, like Pinterest, always looking for like new things that I like. So whenever I see a new trend come about, I'm like, I feel like I could do that, you know? It's like,
so
especially with the brand, like as a medium for it, it's like, like if I want to make some pants, I'll just like go and I'll be like, okay,
yeah. So who would you say, are there certain like artists, influencers that you're really inspired by, or you know, is there something like trendy that's happening right now that you try to implement into the clothes?
I wouldn't say, I just like follow a lot of like clothing brands. Like one that I'm following a lot right now, it's called like Yori, and it just always changes, like just, I don't know, following trends and such.
Absolutely. Nic, too, if you have anything to add to that, like, is there any style icons that you've always been interested in, or you kind of put a little bit into the fabrics?
Yeah, so I'm kind of the same way as Lukas. Like, I get a lot of my inspiration from social media. So I'm still in college, and whenever I'm sitting through, you know, a long lecture, I'll go on my phone, go on Pinterest, and that's honestly where I get a lot of like inspiration
He's
from.
Like mathematics 501.
Yeah. You know, I check out. I hope my mom isn't listening to this, but
everyone does that in college. I mean, like whatever. So
you have to, but. So like Pinterest is huge, like just seeing different items, like how people rework things. I watch like a lot of sewing tutorials and like different ways of sewing, and yeah, I just like implementing that. But a big thing for me too is also just like the material. So I try my best not to buy like any materials new. I try and buy everything like secondhand. So whether that's like garage sales or flea markets, stuff like that. So a lot of it is actually seeing fabric and material and being like, okay, what can I make out of this? Like, how can I make this something that I would wear, like want to wear?
Absolutely. And so what are your thoughts on like the thrift stores here in Springfield? Like, are you sourcing fabrics from there, or are you like, oh, these bad boys are overpriced, like let me let me just go somewhere else?
Right. I feel like there's really only like 2 or 3 thrift stores nowadays that are like actually thrift stores. Like Red Racks is just like so overpriced.
It's insane.
Now. Yeah. But yeah, like is it Council of the Blind on the north side? That one's pretty cheap. That one's good. But we go to STD a lot.
Yeah.
So flea market, and then Relics flea market. So, but yeah, I hit a lot of garage sales this summer. So
that's awesome.
I just feel like every time that we go thrifting, we're just always looking for like cheap fabrics that we can use. And if you came over to our house, like we have so much, like our whole back room is just like
I was gonna say, like,
everywhere.
What does the process look like? Like, okay, so you guys like walk us through. Like, you guys go to STD, you get all your fabrics, and then what happens?
It's not. I wouldn't say it's like a thing. Like we're like, okay, we want to make this piece. Let's go out and find something for that. I think it's like just anytime we go out, we're like, oh, here's like some $3 like UGG fabric that just found, like might as well buy that, and like here's another like bundle of a bunch of stuff, like might as well get that. And then whenever we have an idea, we're just like, okay, we have all this plethora of like all these fabrics to choose from. It's just like, what do we use? Yeah,
super cool. So do you just focus on like jackets and jeans and or is also like shirts, and what's your spectrum of items, I guess?
Yeah, it's really anything, I guess. So I know for me personally, when I sew, I don't measure. So
Vibes.
What I do is...
Me when I cook, but I don't cook.
Like, don't look too closely at any of our pieces, because you'll see that the threads are all, janky all over the place.
I love the fact that the threads are that way, though.
Yeah,
that was like
we tried to embrace it.
Yeah, that was one of our ideas whenever we were doing it, because like we got this old sewing machine from the 70s, and like
not consistent at all.
Whenever we first got it going, like we would do like a single stitch, and every 5 stitches would just be like, just like shoot over to the side, and we're like,
Which was a setting we had wrong, but we didn't know at the time.
Yeah, we didn't.
It was on page 15 of the manual,
So we're like, whatever. Like, this isn't gonna look good. It's handmade. That's a part of the brand. So let's just stick with that. So yeah, if you look close at the stitches, you'll see that they aren't perfect. But I think there's like a kind of some charm in that, because it's like, okay, this is like handmade. Somebody made that. So kind of cool. But anyway, back to like the original thing. Like I don't really measure. I'll like lay a piece out that I already have, I like the fit of, and then like cut panels just to kind of mimic it, and then just go from there, sewing those together. So
that's awesome. So if your whole apartment, I guess, is just like, how does that even look inside of there? What's the vibe? Paint the picture.
You walk in and it's just like the living room, kitchen. It's very calm, very uncluttered. And then the back room, that's like, we have a projector back there, and as soon as you walk in, it just looks
is this like a 3-bedroom apartment and like a whole separate room, or is it just like...
We live in a small house.
Oh, nice. So, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like a sunroom that got converted into like an actual room, and as soon as you walk in there, it looks just like a teddy bear. It like exploded. It's like a bunch of like loose strings and stuff everywhere.
Yeah, not professional at all. I feel so bad because I am not a clean person at all. Like, I'm very messy, and when Lucas moved in, I don't think he was aware of that. So we've had a few talks where Lucas is like, listen, man, like, you have got to clean this stuff up, because it's not working. So
is it like just this, like the creative space, or is it just like the whole crib can be?
Well, so yeah, that's the thing. I feel like we've kind of compromised. So like we keep the house pretty clean. I mean, I keep my room like, pretty messy usually, but then also the back.
Self-aware.
Yeah. The back room, like whenever we're creating, we're like, okay, this can be messy, because like this is our creative space.
It's like, it's like our studio. It's like if you try too hard to make that place clean, then you probably won't like make a good product.
No, 100%. They always say that like artistic people are gonna be kind of messy with it. And even like when I go to my work, I'm in the sales team, and it's just like so funny. Like people, strategists, account managers, everything is organized. The sales team, it's like random pictures, papers everywhere, like just vibes, you know. But I'm, you know, I go to there to sell. I don't go there to. Okay, moving on. Okay, sweet. Man, I just had a question. Okay, yeah. So when it comes to pricing for everything, how do you guys kind of measure out? Well, like, wow, this took a minute to make. You know, how do you figure out that pricing scale?
Yeah, I think we really just kind of like feel it out. It definitely depends, like price of material, and then time spent on it. I think the longest time I ever spent on an item, it was some tapestry pants, some pants made out of like an old blanket.
Yeah, I want something like that.
Yeah, okay, I'll make some more for you.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, but that material is just super hard to work with because, I mean, denim, you know, is pretty stiff, like it doesn't move when you're sewing it, but that material is all over the place. So making those pants from scratch, I never made any pants from scratch, so figuring out the pockets and, you know, the like zipper and button and everything was just a huge pain in the butt. So those, I was like, okay, I need to charge a little bit more, but yeah, if we're doing a piece where it's mostly just like customizing an item where the base is already made, then yeah, usually those are a little cheaper. So just kind of feel it out.
Yeah, do you guys have like a set day where you're like, this is where we're gonna grind on this stuff, or how does that work?
It's kind of just like whenever nobody's using the sewing machine, like somebody just like hops on and starts making something.
Nice.
Yeah,
do you guys like talk about like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, let's work on it, or is it like you kind of make your own pieces, he kind of makes his own pieces?
Yeah, it's both. Yeah, we don't really like if we're like in the middle of something and one of us comes home, we just have such different schedules, so it's like nobody's really at the house at the same time. Depends like on who's at the house. Like the past like 2 or 3 days I haven't been doing anything, so I've been back there grinding out a bunch of stuff lately. But
yeah, it really is. It's a pretty separate process, I think. But yeah, like we'll come home and be like, oh, what are you working on? Or if we're in the middle of a project, be like, oh, check out what I'm making, like try this on, what do you think of this? But yeah, for the most part, I'd say we're pretty separate with like what we make.
That's cool. So does every piece have the logo on it, the Luv? Or no?
Not all of them have like the Luv, like the letters on them, but like all of them have like our little Luv tags. So
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So you guys are both from Springfield, right?
Yes.
I know we had talked about it earlier, but just kind of talking about like, so you both just like grew up here, and now is Springfield something that, you know, is you feel like is end game, or what would be your vision for the brand or your future, I guess?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I'm definitely wanting to move eventually. I have spent my whole life here, and I love Springfield. Like Springfield's definitely home, but I think I'm ready to branch out, try something new. So this is my last year of college, and then I'm thinking of trying out Chicago for a little bit. I have some family there, so hopefully they'll let me crash with them while I get, you know, feet on the ground. But yeah, that's like a soft plan right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, for me, I'm stuck here for like 5 more years. No matter how I put it.
Yay! Lucas!
No. Yeah.
5 more years?
Yeah, 5 more years.
Why 5? Is that like...
I just started a master's program.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Yay!
Thank you.
I wanted to use this button. That's what I meant to say when you said
There you go.
Okay, what are you guys studying in school?
So I'm going for architecture right now over at Drury.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I am at MSU. I started going for digital film production, and then I switched my major to general business. So
Nice. Okay, so obviously you're going to get your master's, and then you might go to Chicago. So what would that look like in terms of the Luv brand?
We honestly haven't
like,
really...
Morgan, screw you. We didn't.
Yeah, we haven't really thought about this.
Yeah, no, we haven't discussed it, but I mean, I'm sure no matter what, like we're still gonna work on pieces, and I don't have any plan of stopping, you know, working on Luv Brand. So.
Yeah, I think I always just wanted to do this. I never really saw it like as a business opportunity or something. It just seemed like it'd be fun to do whenever I have free time and stuff. So I wouldn't see how like us not being together would like prohibit that or anything. So,
Absolutely. So this is kind of reverting back to the clothes question, but in terms of like, I know especially being in college, you probably only have like so much of a budget. So when you're going out and like sourcing pieces and fabrics, you know, do you guys both kind of like, hey, we're both going to spend this amount, or, you know, how does that look like from a perspective?
Yeah, since we both like work on our own pieces separate, it's mostly just like if you find material that you like, you'll, you know, pay for it on your own. Yeah, that's usually how we go about it.
it's a lot of our like closet clean out stuff. Like,
One thing about me is that I don't play games unless it's ping pong at Classics Yard. Classics Yard is Springfield's #1 social sport and game center. It is located in the back of Classic Rock Coffee Company headquarters and next door to the Riff. Coffee, sports, music, what more could you want? Located at 1900 West Sunset Street in Springfield, Missouri. Be sure to check them out, play some games, and reserve your event today. Visit www.classicsyard.com.
just like I was saying earlier, just like whenever we go out and like we see like a bundle of like flannels or something for $3, we're like, okay, yeah. And we just go and add it to the catalog and just like all the
Nice.
materials and stuff. So.
Yeah.
So then, like, if someone buys it, do you guys like split everything, or is it kind of like, well, I made it, so I
Yeah.
that
That's
kind of
how it
thing?
is. Yeah.
Nice. So obviously we met at the pop up, but if someone else is like interested in buying, you know, a piece like this, where do they buy it?
Yeah, so right now, currently, we're only doing pop-ups. I would like to get a website going soon. We've both just been super busy with school and everything, so...
Right.
But yeah, like if people want a piece, they can always like DM us on our Instagram. But currently, yeah, like just markets is where we mainly sell some pop-ups, so...
No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's super cool.
Also, like open to commissions too. Like if somebody has an idea for anything that they want, we've done that in the past as well.
Oh, really? So you guys would kind of like, do you create like a mock-up and maybe like a quote? Is that
Yeah.
Really? For
So
real?
actually, those tapestry pants I was telling you about, those were originally a custom piece for somebody. They DM'd the account and had it all set. They're like, oh yeah, I'll pay you like 135, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. So I like really grinded the pants out and I sent them the pictures.
Did they provide the fabric, or did you already have it?
No, I like bought the fabric and
Wow.
everything prior, and they're like, okay, yeah, everything looks good. So I finished the pants like a week later, sent them pictures, and then they ghosted me. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just post these on the Instagram, and they ended up selling like a week later, but it's kind of
Dang.
funny because that's like the only like actual custom I've done for somebody,
Yeah.
and they didn't even end up
Have you
buying
been
it.
ghosted before ever, or was that your first time ever getting ghosted? Like in life?
In
I've been
life?
ghosted so
yeah,
much.
I get ghosted. No.
Like every week.
No, I always talk about it because it's like, you know, in girl world it happens, but there's like different levels of ghosting. You know, it's like, oh, it's something subtle, like, you know, I'm like, nice, you know, like really short answers, or it's just like the raw, like,
Just like
never
stop
gonna talk to you
never talk
ever
to you
again,
again.
like you're dead to me, like. Wild. Okay, so like to get more personal, let's go around and like say a fun fact about. I know we were talking about it earlier. Did you guys? Do you both have one?
I
think we
kind
thought
of. Mine
about
isn't
one.
very good.
If you
Lucas
don't,
tried
it's
to help
okay. It
me.
can be like as basic as possible. Like it's
Okay.
not a big deal. Yeah.
I have a
like-
basic answer. So.
Okay. Okay. Well, should I start, or do you guys want to start? I don't
Yeah,
even know.
yeah, let's hear
Shot.
yours.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's
kind of
right.
said some already. Okay. Fun fact, I used to play in a ping pong tournament here in town with like a
Oh,
bunch of
really?
old men. Yeah, it's like at the O'Reilly Center. If you pay like $4, you can play. I'm like the worst one there, but you know, a grind is a grind. So
Dang,
Forrest
that's
Gump.
pretty
it's like a
impressive.
weird, yeah, Forrest Gump. Okay, your turn.
I speak and I've been learning Japanese for the past 2 years. So,
That's cool. Okay, can you spit something on the mic or?
2021から今まで日本語を勉強します。
Period. What does that mean?
I said I've been learning Japanese since 2021.
Wow, that's awesome. Yay!
Thank you. Oh my God. I'm
Smart
getting all the
guy.
accolades.
Mr. Bilingual.
All right, Nick.
One fun fact: I have my black belt. So
Okay.
don't
Okay.
frick with me.
All right. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I need to watch out.
Yeah, in third grade I got it. So
Okay. So have you done anything with that since third grade? Or
Oh
not?
yeah, I beat people up all the time.
Shoot. All right. Call Nick. You need someone to hurt. You know.
No.
You get ghosted. Call Nick. Like.
It was one of those things where, like, in kindergarten, I was like, oh, karate's so cool. Like, Mom, I want to do karate. And so I did it. And after a year, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore. But she, like, forced me to stick it out. So one of those things.
It builds character. I mean, shout out to parents, you know. But I mean, it'd be like that. So, okay, like music-wise, who would you say is your favorite musical artist?
Oh God.
I mean, but it's huge. There's like different genres. There's old, there's new. There's stuff that's modern. But like, I guess like right now, if we were to go to like your Apple or Spotify, what's like, you know, who are you listening to like right now? You know?
Lucas, you can go first.
I don't know how I've been listening to lately. Really.
Are you guys like Apple users or like Spotify?
I am Spotify.
I'm Apple.
I'm Apple too.
Music.
I know I'm Apple too, but
it's the best. Like you can send the lyrics as texts and.
Yeah. But you can't make like shared playlists. But I don't know. I just like the Apple aesthetic, and it's like whatever.
Yeah, I get it for free, so.
Oh, okay, nice. I'm paying like $20.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I'm on the family plan, so that's
nice.
why. Yeah.
Well, there was like 3 years. I just kept renewing my student email and getting it for like $5, but whatever. Okay, so favorite artist? Do we have one like?
I like, since it's fall time, I like listening to jazz in the fall a lot.
Okay.
It's like John Coltrane right now. I've been listening to that the past couple days.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Vibes.
I've been listening to a lot of like the Smiths lately.
Nice.
Yeah, some Joy Division.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, Joy Again. Bro, Joy Again's good too. I just discovered them.
It's cool. Yeah, I don't know why, like, fall, I've listened to, like, a lot of Weezer and stuff like that. I recently started skateboarding because, I don't know, recently I just was like, Morgan, get a new hobby. And I penny board, but I was like, you know what, I want to do some tricks. But I've been skateboarding downtown and stuff, but I keep, like, sometimes these homeless people, like, be up in my grill, and I begin freaked out. Yeah. And, I don't know, I was skating above, like, this parking garage, and all of a sudden these, like, guys came out of nowhere, and I don't know if they're trying to talk to me or what, but I just was like, skirt, skirt. I was like, found a little exit and left. I don't know. So,
yeah, gotta be careful.
Does that happen to you guys? Or okay?
For sure.
Do you guys still skate or no?
Yeah, we skate every once in a while. That's what we bonded over. We actually, like, that's one of, like, the first projects I think we did together is, like, I think that's what kind of made us realize that we could be compatible to just, like, make more stuff together is whenever I first moved over, we built a skate box together.
Oh, that's cool. What's a skate box?
It's yeah, I guess there's multiple different names for it, but
like
it's
a fun box. Yeah, it's basically just like it's like a 1 foot long, like 1 foot tall, 6 foot long, little ledge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can like grind on
ledge.
it.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, we've been so busy, like it's been hard to, find time to skate together. But every once in a while when I have time, like we live right down the street from a coffee shop, so I'll wake up in the morning, skate there, do some homework. But yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. All right. Yeah. Fun question, because I said, we're always girly pop here on Keeping Up with Cash. Relationship status. Everyone has a different opinion about Springfield. So from the women's side, what's going on in your guys' world?
I've been in a loving relationship for past couple of years.
Slay.
Yes. Shout out the girlfriend.
Good job, Nick. Yeah, I could never. I'm super
You
single.
said I could never?
I could never.
Like you're like ever?
I have been in relationships, but lately I've been single.
Yeah. Vibes. No, I mean that's vibes. Yay! Springfield's kind of interesting. I feel like I'll go to other cities and people will approach me and stuff like that. So I definitely do feel like it's a geographical thing. I mean, I don't know if you feel that way, but
it's like geographical. What do you? What?
Well, I feel like different people. Like my perspective is that I don't know. I feel like not that men aren't confident here, but I feel like a lot of guys don't really try, and they're looking for. I don't know. I feel like some guys are just looking for like a housewife at a really young age, and that's not everybody. But I went to a college where people get married right after college and do that kind of thing. Where I'm like, that's stuff like that.
Yeah, it freaks me out seeing people I went to high school with already married.
It's wild. I mean, and to each their own, but sometimes I'm like, are you guys ready? Okay, but I don't know.
I know, it's like, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing next month. And it's like, y'all
right.
going to be together for the rest of your lives. It's crazy.
Yeah. So are you open? Like, if you met the right chick, would you be like, oh, cool? Or...
Yeah, I'm open. I've been seeing a girl for a long time, just haven't really made it official yet. So.
Oh, shoot. Should we dive in that or not? Like, why are you scared to make it official? But that's okay. I'm not freaking Dr. Phil. Like, we don't need to dive into it. We don't need to dive into it.
Why are you single, Lucas?
I don't know, man.
What's holding you back, Lucas? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I only met her like last week, so it's soon. So.
I don't understand the story. Okay. I thought you said you knew this person for a long time. No?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, last week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I've like known about her since like middle school, but like we actually just started talking like a week ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, like in a year and a half, will you call and let us know how it's going?
Yeah, well, whenever I'm back
Update.
on the podcast.
Update
No,
pod.
period. What happened to this finger here? Is that like?
I was skateboarding and I fell off. I thought I did a perfect combat roll, but I got up and my finger was crooked. So.
That's tough. So what's like, as I'm like learning how to skateboard, like what's the number one like piece of advice like you guys would have?
Bend your knees.
Because I feel like I ride it wrong. I'm like left-handed and I feel like I'm left-footed, so I ride it like with like I push, then I put my left foot.
You push like Mongo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I know it's like not the safest way, but I don't really like to change.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think there's a big stigmatism around Mongo, but I think it looks cool. I think
thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think it's stylish.
Yeah,
But-
I just feel like whatever is like comfortable, where you're comfortable on this board, like it doesn't matter how it looks.
Yeah, it's like your own
Appreciate it.
personal style. But I think the biggest thing is just riding your skateboard everywhere, just as much as you can.
So like as they're starting to do tricks, is there anything that you're like, oh, do this or definitely don't do that, or like wear knee pads or gloves? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I've never worn like a helmet. I've never worn knee pads or anything. I think that like falling and stuff only makes you better. That's my outlook on it. But I think just like learn the basics, like ollieing and how to pivot and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Vibes. Sweet. So what are your thoughts on current fashion trends right now? I mean, obviously denim's huge, camo, oversized stuff, cargo pants. Like, is there something that you're like, I love this trend, or I want to see more of this? How does that go into the Luv brand?
Yeah, I feel like, like the Y2K stuff got really popular. And we were both kind of like into the Y2K for a bit, but I feel like recently we've kind of started branching off of that.
It was such a fad, I think. I think it died so quick.
Yeah. It was too much, in my opinion. Like, there were certain things I was like, oh, this is cool, but I like 90s just like so much more. I feel like it's so much more like lasting versus, I don't know.
There's like aspects of it I think we like I really like low rise like jeans a lot right now. There's aspects of like the Y2K stuff that I like, but
yeah, I just really love like the used clothes look, like worn out jackets and shirts and stuff like that. I think that's super sick. So
yeah, for sure. And so obviously you guys try to implement that best you can into your stuff. Is there like a certain thing you love to like create the most?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I've been really into making hoodies lately.
I think like, I don't know, just weekly it's like I'm fascinated on just like one like article of clothing. I'm like, I just want to do that. Like yesterday I made pajama pants that I'm gonna sell, and nothing specific for me.
I know we kind of talked a little bit about this, and totally okay if you don't want to answer too, but is like there anything that you've struggled with in your life that you channel into your fashion or your passion? And I don't know if you've ever listened to any of my podcast episodes, but I know like when I started the podcast, a lot of it I was like going through a really difficult time, different heartbreak stuff, health stuff. And so like the first year of the podcast was a lot of like healing for me and kind of going through, therapy and different stuff like that. But vibes are good now, we're up. So, is there something that, it's crazy how like we can go through things and we can turn that into positive. So is there anything like in your life you'd want to share that you've maybe been going through or have gone through that maybe this has helped you, or skating or anything like that?
Yeah, I think personally, like something that I kind of dealt with a lot through college was like loneliness. And so, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was just like spending a lot of time alone, like never really going out in college, like didn't really make a whole lot of friends through college. So yeah, just kind of like feeling down on that, I guess. And so by like starting the like clothing brand, learning how to sew, it was something to where like I could spend time alone, like spend time with myself, but still feel like productive and feel like I'm getting something out of that. And that was like super helpful to, just kind of help me feel okay, like being alone.
Absolutely. And so obviously we met at the Vintage Pop-Up. So how did you even get connected with that group?
With the group like that we sold at?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just like a DM. They reached out to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Slay, Whitley.
Right, yes. Shout out.
Yeah. What about you, Lucas? Have you gone through anything like that?
I think one thing for me is just like, I've always like drawing and stuff, just doing creative stuff like that, but I never really felt like whenever I'm journaling or whatever, like that what I was doing really had a purpose. But with the brand and like making these clothes that people are reposting and people tell me that they like whenever they see me in public, it's like, it's reassuring of like, I don't know, my passions, you know, like
100%.
design and such.
100%. What would both of your dream jobs be? I mean, obviously you both are very creative, you love fashion. You know, in the future, this could be, you know, you're in different areas, but what you're doing is really amazing and it's purposeful and hello, slay, love it. Like, obviously I love it. You know, my voice card member. But yeah, I mean, what would you say, like, what would be the ideal dream job and how would Luv Brand contribute to maybe that?
I think for me, my dream job is definitely just to go into something design oriented. I mean, that's why I'm going to school for architecture right now, just because I love like designing stuff and it's just a way for me to further my knowledge in that sort of field.
For me, the big dream has always been to make movies. For me, like grew up making little short films and stuff. So big dream job would probably be directing movies.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like clothes, I like making clothes is something that I'm probably going to stick with my whole life. You know, making them is just, I don't know, something that I love. So
Fun.
No, it's so cool. So cool. Sweet. Well, have you faced any kind of backlash or stigma for being, you know, guys that create really cool clothes? Like, I know we're in Springfield and so many times, you know, there's like a pretty interesting demographic here. But I know when I wear certain pieces, people just like don't understand. I feel like it's changed a lot in the past 5 years. But yeah, have you faced any like backlash or hate or anything for what you guys have been doing?
I think for a majority, like the people that I hang out with in my communities, they're like, oh, that's really cool that you're like, you have a passion for like the creative like life and you're actually like pushing towards it and like actually doing something. But definitely whenever I like tell my family and stuff about it, they're like, oh, like,
yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, they don't really care. I guess that's the only like backlash I've gotten really from it.
Yeah, for me, like everybody's been so supportive. Like it's been great because like my grandparents are from here. Like they're more conservative. So you know, boy, using a sewing machine, what? Yeah. But like they're like I show them all my pieces and they're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I mean, my grandma gave me the sewing machine, so
right.
like super supportive. Like she'll go out and buy like quilts and stuff from you know, markets and stuff. Be like, oh, here, I got you this material. So yeah, like it's been really cool. Everybody's been super supportive. Everybody we meet like through markets and stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, this is super neat. And like we'll even with some pieces that we'll sell, the people will reach out and be like, hey, like everybody loved this piece. Like I've been getting like so many compliments this week. Just want to let you know. And I don't know, just like makes you feel really good. So yeah, it's cool. Super supportive community.
That's awesome. And I know one thing like with the podcast too is I think one of the biggest challenges is staying consistent. And you know, life gets crazy. You go through hard seasons. Your job is nuts. Your social life can be whatever. You know, and then you're like, shoot, I have to post an episode. You know, I still have to be consistent. Like people listen, they rely on me. And so I think, you know, how has that looked for you're both in college? You know, you're both working and stuff like that. How has that worked with the brand?
Yeah, it's been, oh man, I mean, I'm still trying to find a balance like in life. I feel like I always will, but it's been pretty crazy. In September, we shot a feature film, and I'd never worked on anything that big. So that was like all of our time going towards that. And then after that was over, we had like a market to get ready for. So I was like, okay, forget about the film. Let's focus on clothes. So like grinded a few pieces out, had the market. And I was like, okay, take a refresher from, clothes, get to work on post-production with the film. So then grinded that out. So I've been working on just editing the film like these past few weeks. But we have another show coming up, so I'm like, okay, let's get back into the clothing. But I don't know, I kind of like that switch back and forth, just so I don't get too burnt out on one or the other. So
yeah, absolutely. So this film you're talking about, is that like at college, or is it something you guys do completely separate?
It's separate. Yeah, it's just a personal project.
So can you tell us like what it's about, or is that?
Yeah. So the title is Booyah Rage Bomb. So interesting title, but it's a dry comedy. So hopefully we'll have it done like within this next year. I'd like to do like a little local premiere for it, but it's basically about this kid who looks up to a professional wrestler like his whole life and wants to be just like the wrestler. And the wrestler is doing a meet and greet in his hometown. So the kid tries to raise up enough money to go meet him and all of this. And then once he finally gets to meet him, he realizes that he's not at all like who he thought he was. Wow. Just kind of like, the character on screen. So kind of dealing with like his dreams being crushed and like how he bounces back from that.
That's cool. Where did that idea come from?
I have no clue.
Oh, you didn't write the script or anything?
No, I did, but I don't know. Like it just started originally with meeting with friends, and we had worked on a short film together. Lucas and a few other friends, we all worked on it together. And so once that was all done, we were kind of like, all right, what's like the next thing? Yeah. So we got together and started writing, came up with like kind of a broad outline, and then I just kind of go to coffee shops and work on, spitball some ideas and, I don't know, see how they'd play out, and wrote the script over probably like 4 months.
Wow. Do you guys enter it into like film contests? And I think I randomly met a guy the other night, an older man who gave me a business card who does some film stuff here in town too. I don't know. And like, I'll give it to you later. Okay, but cool. Yeah. And then do you guys like submit it to stuff?
We do, yeah. So we submit to festivals originally, and then the big, dream for this one is to get it on some sort of streaming platform like Amazon or something. But fingers crossed, we'll see. But yeah, I'm honestly just proud of us for getting it done, because it was a hectic month. It was stressful. Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah. Lucas can tell you about that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's so cool having you guys on the podcast, because you're both such creatives, and it's so refreshing, because there's like, I feel like in Springfield there's like a huge group of creatives, and there's like a group of just people doing their own thing, and so it takes a lot of work and like confidence to kind of go out and be like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but this is like what I'm passionate about, and I'm gonna do this. Would you say like in terms of your friend group, is it just surrounded with like lots of creatives, or do you have people that maybe they're less creative but they're really supportive and they always just want to help in any way they can? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I feel like personally I say that my closest friends are very like-minded like me, but that's not like what I look for in a relationship or anything with a friend. Is just like somebody that's creative. So
you look at checklist of like, can't skate, like
not clean, never been in a movie.
Yeah, I would be off the list if that was the case.
But yeah, I think it's surrounded by a lot of different kinds of people. Yeah, I don't think that you should just like hang out with one sort of demographic. I feel like it kind of just like gives you tunnel vision.
100%.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're all like super like-minded. Like there's like some similarities, but we all are like definitely different. But I think that's what makes the relationship like unique and interesting. So
yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have any like mentors in your life that's helped in terms of like any business questions or fashion questions or anything like that, or even film stuff?
Oh man, like with fashion and like business stuff, I haven't really talked to anybody a whole lot about that, just because I've honestly just focused about like, the actual creating and all of that. I haven't really thought a whole lot about the business side. But yeah, like with film, I like am constantly reaching out to like old professors, like old film professors, and asking for help. Like everybody from my old film program was like super supportive and like there to help. So like some of them don't even teach there anymore.
Yeah,
and I just
nice.
email them, and you know, they've been super helpful. So like with this whole film, just yeah, a lot of help through those people. So
No, that's great. And I even like one of my old professors and his wife, I like shout out to Smallwood. I visited them this weekend because I was like, hey, I don't know what's happening in my life.
yeah.
Can I pet your dog? Like, we're like, yes. So I think
Exactly.
those connections are so important. Like, cultivate those, build your network, ask people for help. Like, there's lots of people who want to help you. Yeah. So one last question before we kind of wrap things up. When you guys are in your creative process, is there anything like help you get into your zone? You know, like when you go to the gym, you take like pre-workout. You know, is there like a certain song or like a certain like LED light or like food you have to eat that like really helps you like get into the creative vibe?
I don't know about Nick, but I know like whenever I'm making something, I drink so much coffee.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
like I'm
Okay,
always
that's
bound.
good.
That's
Are
like
you
my
like a
brain
pumpkin
break.
spice like?
Oh no, I like it
Just
black.
black?
Just black coffee, man.
Just raw.
Nothing
Just
more
vibe.
indie and creative than that. Right? Just a cup of black coffee, and it's
There
like
you
my
go.
brain break. Like I'll be bouncing around listening to music, and I'm like, okay, this like I'm kind of bored of this right now. Let me go make some coffee.
Yeah. Nice. All right.
That's true. Yeah, like I have coffee too, or like little snacks or something like that, and I'll use them as almost like a reward system. So like I'll finish
Exactly.
like this one stitch or like this one portion that was super hard, and be like, oh, okay, take a sip of coffee, you know, and then all right, let's get back into it. So
Nice.
Yeah. Another thing is just seeing the finished products. It's so satisfying, just like thinking of something and then like actually like manifesting it into existence. And
Right.
it's like, oh, now it's right there, and it's like I actually did this.
Yeah.
yeah,
think
it's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Cut you off.
that's all I was gonna say.
It's like making clothes is just a big puzzle, and I think that's what I like about it, is it really does like stretch your brain, like thinking about the panels. Like I'm constantly I spend probably like 5 minutes just sitting on the couch like staring at a pattern, being
We're just
like,
like walking by and it's just
yeah.
like
I've seen it. Scary.
because I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how this goes, and I'm like putting the like panels together in
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah,
But even
it's
then,
hard.
like I'll sew things on backwards, like sew panels together the wrong way. Like that mask over there, I sewed that together the wrong way, and so I'm like,
You like that?
it's a pain you got to go through. But yeah, like once a piece is done, it is just so
Yeah,
satisfying.
like forgetting to put pockets on, and it's like
Yeah, doing things out of
it's
order.
like that's
Oh.
gonna be really hard to stitch on now.
dang. Do you guys ever like think you'd get into like the jewelry space at all? You know, like necklaces or like ring. I mean, I don't know. Like
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Yeah, it'd be sick, but yeah, I have
you
no
could probably
clue.
get like a small little like welding thing, because you know when all those. No, I'm not even kidding. Like you know when they do like the linked, you know, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like itty bitty welding. So I mean, I'm sure you could kind of create something
Yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Like I've seen glasses that have like looks like dripping, like, you know,
Yeah.
metal pieces. I think that looks so sick. So,
Yeah.
it'd be cool to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Sweet. Well, if you guys do it, you just make sure, you know, tag me. Like,
Yeah,
Don't forget where the idea
You'll
came
get some
from.
of the profits, right? Yeah.
well, thank you guys so much for coming on the pod. It's been so fun just kind of diving deeper into the origin of the Luv brand and really your guys' creative process. As we end, I obviously end every show the same way. Favorite song, favorite quote, and what do you want your legacy to be? You know, when you're gone, whatever happens, like what do you want to be remembered as?
Okay. Favorite? You say favorite song?
Favorite song? Yeah.
Okay, definitely "Winter Snakes" by Joy Again right now.
Okay. Favorite quote?
Okay, my favorite quote is "Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that allows growth, not thunder."
Vibes. Wow,
Deep,
that was like
deep.
super memorized. Okay.
Yeah,
and
he's practicing it.
what do you want your legacy to be?
I think just like having something to pass down to like my family. I don't know, whatever that might be, just like owning a business or I think just
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur and just like creating something that I can pass down as
Absolutely.
a legacy for like generations to come.
Yeah, he's like, my kids will be rich.
Exactly. Yeah, that's basically what I said.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Nick.
All right. Favorite song is probably "We're Going to Be Friends." That one's a classic.
There you go.
Quote is hard. I don't know like who said this, but like limitations breed creativity. I think that is so true. Because like when you have these things that you see as like these problems, like, oh, if these weren't there, it'd be so much easier. That's what kind of gets your brain working. Like, okay, let's figure out how to work around these problems. And a lot of the times it makes a product that's like a lot more unique and special, just by going through that. And yeah, I think for like the legacy thing, kind of this similar thing to Lucas, just having like these physical things, so like clothing items or like the films that I make, just being able to like kind of pass those on. So for people to be like, oh wow, he was making these 80 years ago or whatever. I don't
Look
know.
at him still doing the
It's like
same.
a history class. This is art.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be put in a museum.
Yeah. Springfield Art Museum is just like huge
yeah,
up there.
Springfield Art
Yeah.
Museum.
Hey,
That'd be cool.
honestly, I mean, dream big. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing is, I mean, Kansas City Fashion Week, you guys could completely enter a bunch of this stuff. Like next year or whatever. They're always looking for designers in their pieces. So
That'd be sick.
you never know like how huge this could blow up or, you know, whatever else you guys have going on.
Yeah.
So last thing I know I lied. It's like, okay, any advice for anyone that is maybe a college student just like you guys and like wanting to start a brand or start their own kind of business, and you know, what's the first thing that you're going to say to them?
Oh man, you just gotta do it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Just do it. I mean, there's so many people. You meet so many people at bars and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I want to make a movie. I want to like make clothes so bad."
Yeah.
Just like you can do it. Just like try.
Because it's like, have you ever tried black coffee? Like,
Yeah, I was black.
it's
Let
like
me
what's
put
wrong
you
with
on.
it? Yeah.
That's all you need.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the pod. If they want to contact you or anything like that, just Luv Brand on Instagram. Do you want
Yes.
to tell them how it's spelled and stuff like that?
Yes, it's LUV and then I think 2 or 3 underscores and then brand. Yeah. Pop up.
I post all the stuff. I literally love it. But yeah, reach out, customize a piece. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Follow my social media. You know the vibes. Life is crazy. Listen to the solo pod. Yeah, so have a great rest of your week. And remember to spend time with your family and slay. I don't know. Usually I'm like way more insightful. But my biggest Thanksgiving advice as you're going home is do not speed. As someone who's had multiple lawyers from multiple tickets and multiple awful situations, just don't do it. Illinois, I know you want to move there, but they're kind of a jerk state when it comes to their cops. So
Yeah.
just be safe, you know. Take the bus, take a flight, drive the speed limit. Okay, love you guys. Bye!